Hello, and we are live, and I'm going to make sure everything's going right here as I usually do. Let me know that you're seeing me and that everything seems to be working right. We've got, let's see about how many, about 15 people in the stream currently. I expect more people to join us as we get going. Hey, Dominique and JS3D, good afternoon, good afternoon. And we got 3D Medic and Dustin and JS and Non-Fam. And JPSon67, Owling 205, and Norman was the first one in the chat today from Bermuda, or from the Bermuda Islands. Audio and video are great. Hopefully my camera is actually level today. That was a couple of streams ago. But I did have a stream with an unlevel camera. So we're going to see how many people join us here before I get going too much on this, and we will just chat a few minutes as I get going. As you can see, the set is expanding here a little bit. I'm getting new stuff here in the studio space and in my garage workspace. The maker space is expanding, so I'm trying to do more on the channel. You won't see any of that immediately yet. I still have some of my usual content. I've got a few boards coming down. In fact, the next, I think 3 or 4 videos are all boards, unless I also throw in a 3D printer review that I'm working on, a couple of mini reviews. Anyway, let's see what's going on. Audio, video are go. Don't forget to push the like button. We're going to get all those likes and smashes. We've got 21 people streaming. Thank you very much, JS. He said the makerspace is looking good. Yeah, I'm excited. I just got this put together last week. I finally have an electronics workspace, which is something I've really needed, because typically when I work on electronics, I have to pull out the soldering iron, all of the wires and cables and stuff I'm working on, and there's a setup and tear down time that makes it where I can't work on as much as I'd like to. So I think this will make me more productive, but I'm still populating everything. I'm still putting all my wires and everything up here. Hey David, good to see you. H3D, thanks for joining us, and we are up to 25. So I think we're going to wait a little bit longer. I want to get as many people in the stream that wants to join us before I start talking about today's printer. I would love to be able to pronounce your name. I'm going to have to say Germand. I'm going to go with that. How are you doing, Germand? Thanks for joining us. Those wire strippers are good but can cut the cable. I take it you're talking about these. Yeah, those aren't the only ones I have, though. So I've got these wire strippers that I use for different gauges. And can you see this one over here? Yeah, you can see that one. And these are the type, you know, kind of auto wire strippers. And I don't know, it depends on what I'm doing. I have different kinds of wire strippers depending on the wire I'm working with. So anyway, what is going on? Those are the dodgy ones. The second ones are the dodgy ones. Yeah, I actually do tend to, especially when I'm working with smaller gauge wire, I like these guys because they're specific per gauge. So yeah, more and more stuff coming to the channel. I always wanted to do more on this channel than just review products, and so I wanted to start blending in some products, some projects into the new year. So that's the plan. Can we see the printer? So Dragon is ready to go. We're almost up to 30. See, Kevin Kiwi. I wanted to say thanks for your videos, but my first Ender 5 Plus while watching your video. Thank you very much, Kevin. I'm glad you enjoyed the video, and I'm glad it was helpful. So, add an eye. All right, so I think we got enough people to get going. I do want to talk about the printer here, and you know, typical stream, I'll probably go in the neighborhood of 2 hours, just depending on how everything goes. So if you can stay around the whole time, I really appreciate it. If you can't stay around the whole time, that's terrific too. Thanks for joining us for as much as you can. And nice monitor stand. Yeah, this was 3D printed. I love these portable monitors. I actually have 2 of them now, and they are terrific all over the house. I use them in the garage. I use them on the kitchen table. I even use them on my desk in my usual workspace, and plug them in and go, and you have extra monitors. The monitor stand I designed. So this was one, I haven't shared it or anything. I didn't know how many people they would be useful for. And it's not adjustable or anything. It was just at the angle that I needed it at. But if you want me to share it, I'll be happy to throw it up on Thingiverse. It's not a big deal. Probably took 30 minutes to design. So anyway, again, a lot of people in the chats help me with all of this information, but I'll go ahead and say it here at the top of the stream. If you haven't liked this stream, go ahead and hit like. I know most of you have, looking at the numbers, so thank you for hitting the like button. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if this is your first stream and you're waiting to see how it goes, I understand. But if you're a regular viewer and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd really appreciate the subscribe button. Hit the notifications. I will go ahead and share for people on this stream. I'll go ahead and share with you what's coming up this week. So if you've seen the new Big Tree Tech main board, they've got the new Big Tree Tech SKR E3 Turbo, and that's what I'll have out for you this week. So if you haven't seen the E3 Turbo yet, go check out I think it's available on Amazon. I don't know if it's available on their site yet, but I know there have been some available on Amazon. That's what my review and walkthrough will be on this week. So you'll get the full gambit of stuff like I did on the other boards, where I review it as well as show you how to install it, walk through the board layout. That's coming this week. I am in the middle of editing that today, last night, the night before. So it's a pretty big video, as I usually like to do on those things. So I hope you guys enjoy that. How much does it cost to subscribe? This is not a magazine subscription. There is no charge to you. But if you're interested in Patreon, that's in the description below. So Patreon subscribers. Oh, by the way, thank you to all my Patreon subscribers. I know if I'm not going to call everyone out, because if I miss a Patreon subscriber, I'll be very upset. But I just hit 50. Okay, slow down. So I just hit 50 Patreon subscribers, and I just can't thank everyone that helps this channel enough. I know some people have supported this channel via PayPal as well. Thank you very much for your continued support. It is allowing this channel to grow and prosper, and I really appreciate all that. And thank you all for just subscribing and joining me in these live streams. They're a ton of fun, and this is one of my favorite things to do, is hang out with you guys on a live stream. So thank you very much. 53. David says $53, I think. Okay. So JS, just got your turbo board in today. Plan on putting it in the Ender 5 Plus. Well, if you have any problems with it, or if you just want to hang out, I will have my video up in the next couple of days, and then you could walk along, or I will, of course, have my firmware available for the Ender 5 Plus like I usually do. So let's go ahead and go. I don't have a lot of information on this printer other than what I got from the Kickstarter. So let me go ahead and bring that up here. I think I can bring up, let me do this. I've got too much going on, but I'm going to try to bring up the Kickstarter page so that everyone can see what that looks like. All right, let's do this transition. I hope I have, yeah, it looks like I have my mic set up. I'm going to do a transition here. All right, everyone should be seeing this Kickstarter page, and I do have this link in the description as well. So let me know, is everyone seeing? I want to move this over. Everybody seeing the Kickstarter page? All right, so here is the Kickstarter page for this one. Just let me know. Yep, okay, thank you, Aling. So here's the Kickstarter page. They have already met their goals, and there are only 4 days to go on this Kickstarter. So if after seeing this video you are interested in this printer, there is still time to join. The initial price on here, which is no longer available, was $99. They had a $99 early bird. Yep, $99, which is all sold out. And now you can get this printer for $119 as a regular early bird. And they have some add-ons available for it if you want to actually have a heated bed, if you want to have the touch screen, or if you want the laser engraver head. I won't play this for you because I don't want to spend the time early in the stream. If you guys want to watch this later, I have to admit the video's funny. The video is one of those written and probably translated Chinese videos that have been translated to English and have some sort of text-to-speech robot voice reading it. And I enjoy watching those. Those are a lot of fun. But particularly with, you know, what are probably American actors in the video. But there we go. They've already, like I said, they've already hit their goals. So a lot of people, whether for the cost or for the size, a lot of people have already said that this is the printer they want. So they've got 536 backers already, which is pretty incredible for a printer of that size. So let me go ahead and transition back over here. And let me bring back up my chat, see what's going on, see what you guys think about this printer. Let's see. What we got? That's it. Cheap enough to be an impulse buy. Yeah, I think so. It is a very tiny printer. So looking at the dimensions on here, if I remember correctly, yes, it's 120 by 120 by 120 is the build volume on this one. So yeah, it's a tiny printer. The only printer I have that is roughly the same size, a while back I did a live stream on the Creality, was it the something 100? And it is a Optimus Prime looking printer that is designed for children. It's all enclosed and it's kind of hard to work with because it is an enclosed printer, but it's the only thing that comes close to this size. So we're going to get started on this. If you have any questions about the printer as we start going through everything, please let me know, and I'll be happy to answer questions as I have a chance to read these. But anyway, I wanted to do a live stream on it. They hit me up, said, hey, do you want to review our printer? I said, well, I know it's a Kickstarter, so I really don't want to do a full review on it, plus it's a small printer, so I don't know what the interest level will be on it. But I said, yeah, I'll be happy to do a live stream on it, and so they sent it over. And that's what I am working with today. So let's take a look. First, a sip. Let's see. So I'm going to get going on, let's get my close-up shot here in the corner so that you can see. Maybe I'll swap it out. I want to make sure that you can see what we're doing. Let's do that. All right, so as you can see, the box, nice box, very professional. They had everything printed. As for markings and stuff like that, hopefully you can see these all right. I'm going to trip over my mic. Well, we got EU address, US address, manufactured in China, as expected. And they have a lot of support information on here. You'll notice that they actually have an American phone number. They have a US, or I guess .com address, let's call it, as well as a .com support email address, and they're available on every social media platform. So there we go. I think it is, they look like they're doing it right. They also have an FCC certification. They are CE, and of course we don't know if this is the China certification or the actual CE regulation mark. I would guess that this is actually the Chinese one because they're not very close together. Recyclable and a RoHS. So that's really good. They at least have more certifications than most printers that I see that are like this. It is the normal EU mark. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much, JS. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate it. So let's go on. We'll see what is in the box. Make it, is that good? I think that's good. Try to have enough light on this one. Foam. And looking at the box, my guess is that I got a sample here that someone has already put together once. It's well packed in terms of there's good foam, and this did make it from China. But as you can see, I don't think it's going to come like this. It's not very secure. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong on this one. But that looks like it was probably already used once. Maybe it's been assembled and tested. It did come like this. So this is straight up. I have opened the box, but I didn't touch anything. So it came like this. But I don't think the retail version will come like this. This doesn't look like how the packaging is actually designed to hold this. So I think that's it. Let's pull everything out of the box though. So they actually did send me a laser unit, which is one of the add-ons for this kit. So let's pull it out real quick, because I don't know if I'll get to the laser in this video. But this is a beefy laser. So this is a class 4 laser. They don't have the wattage actually on the laser, but that's a That's a really beefy laser. That's a huge heatsink. I would guess that this is fairly high wattage, given how much heatsink that they've got on this, but there's nothing at least on the laser that tells me what the wattage is. All right. What else we got? So I've got to figure out how to pull this out of here because it looks like things are still attached. Let me raise this up a little bit. I'm going to try to raise this up a little bit. There we go. Okay. So this is going to be an interesting assembly. I don't exactly know how they put this in this box. Okay. Wow. All right. Again, I have not pulled this out of the box, so I'm going to have to move things around here because now I am already running out of room. So this is how mine came. And my guess is that this is not exactly how it's going to come when they finally ship this. This does not look realistic, but everything is already connected. So let me move things around here. I am going to just go ahead and switch over to just that. That'll take care of that. Okay. So as you can see, they've got the gantry, which is one piece. They've got the bed, which is not moving on its own. So they've got that locked in somehow. It's a little wobbly. I'll have to see if there's any way to tighten it because it's a little wobbly there. Okay. We have, let me pull that off. So that is the control panel. Now this is their default control panel. I did see this in their video. There's nothing to this control panel. There's a plus, a minus, a home, and a play button. So there we go. Hey Travis, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. So but anyway, there's not much to this, and this is super light. So all we have here, we've got power, we've got USB, and we've got our micro SD card slot, and there's not a micro SD in there. But that's all there is in terms of buttons. So let's see what else is in the package, and I'll show this to you as I pull it out. It does come with a tiny sample spool of filament. It comes with a spool holder, the other part of the spool holder. And it does have an SD card, an SD card reader, some screws, a jam remover. What else we got? A screwdriver. So that's just our bag of tools and parts, and I'm going to start losing things here, so I need to be careful. And it's got an American power supply. So American power supply right there. And that's where the power button is for this printer, is actually on the power supply. And they include the USB cable. So I think it's really interesting to me that they sent me the laser add-on, but they didn't bother to send me the upgraded display. So unfortunately, that's going to be a little bit of a knock for me, is not having that upgraded display, because there would be no way I would buy a printer without a decent display on it. So that's what we've got here. There's no written documentation, at least not in my version. You don't know what you'll get when you finally get the one from the Kickstarter. So I am going to have to put in the SD card, and hopefully on the SD card they have everything I need. Is it Computer Connect only? No, it actually does have a micro SD card. So, but if they don't have any instructions, I'm going to be guessing how to build this thing. I don't think it would be complicated due to the fact that it's 95% built. But let me find out. Luckily, I have my streaming computer here on this desk now, so I should be able to figure this out. And we will see what's on here. Let's go ahead and I'm going to switch back to the wide shot while I figure this out. There we go. Let's see. What's going on in there? 2209's SKR Pro. So yeah, the SKR Pro is high on my list of videos that is coming out also. So that one's coming up. So if you have any problems, I will have a video on that. I love the SKR Pro. It's a nice board. My only complaint on it just out of the box is the fact that they didn't put an EEPROM on board, but I have a fix for that. So that was my only complaint. I don't understand why such a high-end board does not have an EEPROM on it. But like I said, I can fix that. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put this SD card in here. And it did detect it. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and switch over so where you guys can watch what's going on here. Let me get rid of the stuff on this screen that you guys don't need to see or care about. Let's go ahead and switch over. You guys are going to get the chat on the screen because that way I can keep up with what's going on. So let's go ahead. There we go. So here is what is on the SD card. G-code file is included. You notice there's a rocket.g code and a vase.g code, which is terrific. Hey Tripod, how you doing, man? Good to see you, John. Anyone else miss loud steppers? Hey Beef, I bet if you are missing the loud steppers, I bet you there's a bunch of people that will send you some old main boards. Let's see what else is on here. We've got slicing software, so it comes with a current version of Ultimaker Cura, which is really nice because most ones try to still include the really old version, the one that was licensed differently. We have it for actually Linux, Apple, and we have a Windows version all on here, so that's absolutely terrific. We've got the driver for USB in case you need it for this board, and we do have a user manual. So let's go ahead and pop that user manual. I obviously have not installed Acrobat on this computer yet, but Microsoft Edge apparently will read it without giving us too much of a problem. Let's go ahead. I want to zoom in here and we'll see how to put this together. Zoom in. There's got to be a zoom, right? What I get for not knowing how to fit to width. Let's do that. Okay, so that's the printer we're looking at. That looks exactly like what we've got. Contents. Look, it does come in multiple languages: English, German, French, Spanish, Italian, and Chinese, Mandarin, whatever their written language is called. I apologize. Safety warnings and guidelines, introduction, parameters. So let's go through here. We know about safety warnings. If you're new to 3D printing, here's the ways to be safe. And thanks for purchasing the Mini 3D printer. It's a 3D printing machine for beginners. So they are specifically marketing this to beginners. So this is the printer for your kids or your grandmother or, I don't know, anyone else that hasn't gotten into 3D printing yet. Let's see. So here are all the parts. It describes the 3D printer, which is really nice. Here is the X-axis, which runs this way, Z-axis, which runs up and down, and our Y-axis, which runs left and right, which is interesting that they are calling these different than what you normally would call the axes, depending on which way you have oriented the printer. And you'll notice, I think the reason they do that is because their gantry is mounted to the back of the printer instead of the side of the printer. So this whole thing's turned like 90 degrees. So, what we got? Okay. So nozzle, it does come with a 4mm nozzle, and these are your standard extruder temperature, recommended print speeds. Notice right here, guys, this is a slow printing printer, which is good that they haven't over-spec'd it. which I'm really happy to see, because I do not like when they overspec printers and say they can do 150 millimeters per second, when that's kind of crazy that you're actually going to get anything out of the printer like that. It does say that you can go 60, but the way that this thing is constructed, I don't think that that's very likely. Layer thickness, normal layer thicknesses, G-codes. You can print with TF card or USB. The usual stuff. It's a 12-volt printer, notice. It's not a 24-volt, but I wouldn't expect a 24-volt printer on one this size. Here are all the parts. And it looks like, I'm going to show you this real quick. No heated bed by default. The heated bed is an upgrade. So if you missed that when I was going through the Kickstarter, the heated bed is an upgrade. And it does not, I'm actually going to pull it off here and find out. But it does not look like they sent me the upgraded model. Yeah, so mine does not have a heated bed either. So there we go. Let's see. Can it do anything other than PLA? My guess is no. Well, yeah, I mean, technically you should be able to do PETG. That's a lower temperature PETG. But you notice they're not speccing it for anything other than PLA. So, let's see. What do we got? So here's how we put this thing together. We are going to insert the X and Z axis modules through the bottom. We make sure we pass through our wires, which I think that they left all mine plugged together. They weren't going to have someone screw up their installation here, apparently. So we're just going to tighten these nuts after we put them through. The nuts go, it looks like the nuts go on the outside. We're going to make sure everything's plugged in the bottom. Our filament holder will go on the side. Look, everything's just tab and slot except for these screws up here. Yeah, see, beginners, they don't need heated beds or screens. That would be crazy. Why would we want them to have things that make it easier? Notice they say right here, do not hang more than a 250-gram spool on this filament holder. I don't think you'd have to worry about that. The thing's not big enough. You could not fit a full-size spool on there. Let's see. That's how we put filament on a spool. That's where we stick our filament. So we power, okay. Let's go ahead and build it, and then we'll get back to this starting up section. So let's go back to the close-up. I think that's where people are going to want to see. There we go. So I'll let you guys talk about cost and stuff like that. I think putting a, okay, well, you know what, we'll come back to the laser, because I think the lasers has its own problems. So here we go. Let me pull this over because I need to be able to see myself to make sure that you guys can see what's going on here. Here we go. Da, 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 da. Okay, so let's get this building. So, all right, so here we go. Stuff everywhere. So they said that this is a pretty easy build, and they're probably right. So this is the whole gantry system. Everything's already put together. They have, what is there to see? I mean, I'm impressed that these are the tiniest, if these are stepper motors, which I can only assume that they are, these are the tiniest stepper motors I've ever seen. That's the motor in the bottom right there. That's the one that's actually controlling the Z. So it is actually a, am I right? Yeah, that's the one actually controlling the Z. So let's get that in there. We are going to, I'm going to try to give you the best angle here. So they say that this goes in here pretty easily. The wire, I'll make sure I stick the wire through the hole that they recommend, because there's actually 2 holes down here. So the wire, the hole that they recommend, I guess it's the one in the front. So we're going to put the hole in here, and that's going to go down there. And then this just slides into the groove here. That couldn't be much easier to assemble. And it does hit my little, you notice there's a Z end stop right here, or you can't see, there it is. There's the Z end stop right there. And so it does hit that when I put this in here, so it was probably homed before it was put up. Okay. Now, according to them, it is like 2 screws and we're done. So I take this. There are 2 screw holes here. That bed is in the way. Well, maybe we're going to come from the other way then. So let's come from the outside. We're going to go through here. And notice these screws actually just sit on top. And that goes through there. So there's the screw I just put through. There's one in the back. I mean, I've seen the ads for these on Facebook as well, which is what I think Tripod mentioned. Yeah, I've seen these, and I'm curious when I see things like this. And if everyone's seeing it, I'm like, okay, well, why don't we go ahead and take a look at it for fun. I know a lot of people watching this channel will be like, this isn't exactly the class of printer I've been looking for, but some people are. And some people are looking for this kind of printer for, like I said, for other members of their family. And I'd like to know, is it any good? How does it print? Because ultimately, no matter what we think about the assembly or the way it's built or anything, if it prints decent, then at least it is a 3D printer. So just tightening these 2 screws down, that's all it is for for assembly. That's it. Okay, not impressed. Ultimately not super impressed with the construction of this printer. But again, we're not printing it. So, what next? Yeah, those go on there, and then we're going to hook up that Z cable. Let me see. I see someone's asking me a question. Check the Z cable. Yeah, I know. We've got the Z cable at the bottom. So, after we hook that up, we have our cabling on the bottom. So the Z cable, did I screw up the Z cable? Yes, I did. Thank you for mentioning that. Apparently when I pulled things back out, I screwed it up. So it wouldn't have taken me long to figure that out. Slicer, this one actually comes with a current version of Cura. Now whether they actually have somehow stuck in their profile or not, I doubt it. But at least it comes with their current version of Cura. Yeah, I actually have some Vision Minor adhesive. I love that stuff. Let's see if I can get this screw back out of here now that I've screwed it up. I did it the first time and then I pulled it back out. Alright. Try not to bend the Z end stop here. Alright, back in. Back in. Yeah, oh, so you're actually asking about the Vision Minor adhesive. Yes, so forever I've used glue stick when I've had to on glass. And when I didn't have to, I just would clean the glass really well with detergent, not touch it. I learned that from Ivan Miranda. Ivan Miranda was a big influence on me using all glass. And then, you know, every now and then I'll have something that doesn't quite stick right. And so what I've done is I've switched almost completely over to the Vision Minor adhesive. These are the ones I got some samples when I was at IRF last year. And I love this stuff. It's expensive when you buy it from them, but in my mind, it's well worth it and it lasts forever. You put that down on a regular glass bed printing PLA or PETG. It really does. I hardly ever have to change out that stuff. All right, so that is that. Now we can get back underneath here and we will hook up our Z-wire. Should only go in one direction. but I want to make sure. It's a tiny little connector, but that goes in there. Does that labeled? Yeah, it's labeled. So our wires are actually labeled in here. So if anything comes undone, everything is labeled. Let me go ahead, get all this in the shot. So we've got Z. I do want to make sure everything's hooked up before I get started. This is probably a fan. Yep, that's fan 2. We have thermistor 1, E0, fan 1. So does it have part cooling? It actually does have a part cooling fan, which I am always iffy about. So if you want to look at the way this is built while we're under here as well, notice that it is some very simple sliders. I think they're using sleeve bearings in here. I don't think that these are ball bearings in any way. I think they're sleeve bearings. They've got a tiny little belt because, I mean, after all, we're not moving much. It's well tensioned, which is good to say. And it is adjustable. They do have the thumb screws down here to adjust it. But that's pretty much it. All right. What else do we have? I am just reading the chat, making sure I don't have any other questions. All right, filament holder. As they said, filament holder is pretty simple. I always love it when they give us a bit of a challenge or a side job of having to pull off their paper. I remember when me and my son built our first printer, which was an ANET A8, half the printer was just peeling off the freaking wrapping on these pieces of plastic. Yeah, I'll read the power output. I've got the I've got it right in front of me. Yeah, who knows if the heated bed, though, since the heated bed is an add-on, I don't know if they send you a new power supply as well. But I'll look at this one real quick. I mean, after all, the only thing this is powering are these tiny, tiny motors and the hot end, which you probably wouldn't need more than, what, 20 watts? Well, it's a 12 volt, so maybe 20 watts. I don't know. You're not going to need much. No, the power connector is over here on the box. Here's the power connector. All right. So that was satisfying, right? Okay. And we have, oh, this goes either direction. And this is going to just go on the outside and pop in. Now we know why that doesn't hold more than 250 grams. There it is. And it goes on. What side does this go on? Does this go over here? There we go. Looks like it goes right here. Yep. That pops right there. They're not the most stable thing I've ever seen, ever. But if you're only putting 250 grams on it, I guess it'll do its job. All right, where are we now? Let's see. It says we should put a spool of filament on there. Should we put this spool of filament on there, or do you guys want me to grab another one? Let me know what you think. Should I put this one, or should I grab another small spool I've got? What I've got? I've got, how big is this? This is probably about 250. This may be 400. There's a 400, I think, and yeah, it kind of bends it a little bit. Run what it came with. You know what? I normally would print something else, but due to the fact that this is designed for beginners, and they expect beginners to actually run this, I think it should be with what came with it. Because if the sample's crap, then your first experience is going to be crap, and that wouldn't be good. So, okay, I'm going to follow it to the T here, because again, we know this is not for the seasoned professional here. At least, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is. Maybe someone's like, I need one of these sitting right next to my keyboard. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead. They want us to This is really throwing me off having the X gantry run in this direction, I've just got to say. All right, so I'm going to open up this. Okay, it did not come with any sort of ties on it or anything, but the end is obviously visible. I'm going to take it around here. I think that running it around this way is probably the safest. This is not going to go well, guys. That's this is not going to go well. Oh boy. There. Oh man. Okay. Okay, I'm going to hold this down because otherwise it's going to pop off. I'm such a noob. You know it, John. I'm glad that I've never experienced a 3D printer before. Okay, so they say I should push this in here. What do they say? Pass it through the hole above the print head. After the extruder is heated, push it in. Okay, so I'm just going to leave it there because we haven't heated anything up yet. Okay, power on. Insert the power supply port into the printer and then press the button on the power supply to turn it on. After powering up, the button play will light up. Okay, I'm starting to doubt this. Okay, you know what? I guess we'll go ahead and plug it in. So you want to know the wattage on here. What do we got? This is, output is 12 volts at 4 amps. So about 48 watts. I think that would run a bed this size, don't you? I think that would work. Let's see, you can leave the thing unattended. Yep. All right, we're going to plug it in. There's not anything, like, this is not something I'm worried about smoking. There's nothing to this. I mean, there's some sort of controller board in here, but I guarantee you it's not beefy. And it has some very small steppers in it. I can't imagine. So luckily I've just hooked up a new power. Yeah, because otherwise this isn't super long. But let's go ahead. We're going to plug it in. Oh, okay. They didn't tell me to press the power button, but I'm assuming. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be doing, but I don't see it doing it. No smoke. No smoke. I said the play button should light up at some point. Did I turn it off? Let's try that way. Do 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 do. There's no volt. Oh, there it is. I've got a green light. Looky there. I got a green light. So it is on. That switch button goes. Yeah, the UI has. No, the UI has 4 buttons. Is there any sound? Well, unfortunately, I've got my other printer going on here, which is louder than anything because it's got 2 fans on it. But let's see. Yes, there is a sound. So right here is the hot end fan, and there is a sound. So yes, it does make a sound, but it's just a light fan sound. It's not loud at all. Hey, Pygar, good to see you, and Wild Bill. Good to see you guys. If you haven't hit the like button, someone in the chat should be telling you to hit the like button by now. So let me see how we're doing. 59 people watching. Thanks everyone for joining me, because this little printer needs attention. This little printer definitely. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So we have powered it on. We've got our green light, which means that we are good. The only sound coming from this printer is the hot end fan. I don't know if it's heating up now, since there's literally no user interface whatsoever. There's no feedback. All I've got is a green light. I don't know if that means that I'm hot. I don't know. In fact, if I'm hot, I'm melting this plastic right now. I'm telling you that. This does not instill me with confidence, though. This is not a Prusa. I don't know if anyone can tell that, but this is not a Prusa. So it tells me how to set up the slicing software, which I don't really care about right now. Okay, so there is a procedure here. Short press the home button. The home button light will flash and home the extruder to the default position. After the platform is reset to 0, the indicator light stops flashing. All right, so let's do that. I'm going to press the home button. It is raising up. It is moving. There is an end stop. And there is another end stop. Check this out, guys. It works. It moves. Although it is really biting into that bed. So that is home. Although it's not a particularly... Let me make sure I've got this good and tight. I'm questioning my tightness here. The way that... I don't know how much to tighten it, though. I think there's an all the way tight here somewhere. All right. Because I'm questioning whether this gantry can even really support this printer. But we're going to find out. I'm going to tighten these all the way down. All right. I've done the best I can. Button pressed. All right, so I have homed. And then press and hold the button for 5 seconds again, and the printer will enter the leveling mode. The home button light will continue to flash until finish the whole leveling process. In leveling mode, manually turn the nuts under the platform so that the distance between the platform and the nozzle can just be passed by an A4 paper and can clearly feel the resistance by the platform. That's a good way of explaining this. After the first point is level, press it again and print will move to the next point. After the printer is finished all 5 points, it will automatically exit the leveling mode and the button light will no longer flash. Okay, and they've given me the pattern here, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to hold down this for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Okay, there it goes. I'm going to need a sheet of paper. I think I have one down here. I do. Something I wrote on, yep. Manual mesh, but I can't complain. You bought a $99 printer. What do you want? All right, so well, if you have large hands, you may not need to apply for this. I want to move the spool holder here, and I need to tighten. I think I'm moving in the right direction. Yep. Okay, I'm going to do this just like we normally would. Kickstarter is $119, yes. Currently it's $119. The original Kickstarter price for the super early birds was $99. All right, that one's good. So now I'm supposed to press it again, and it'll go to the next point. All right, what you guys thinking so far? It should have come with paper, right? Should have come with paper. One thing I don't like is how everything kind of bends when I move it, because I feel like if you touch it while it's printing or bump it while it's printing, it's going to be off. It's very flexible. I mean, the stuff that's cast, the ABS stuff, is actually not too bad. I don't know. It's interesting. I hope their print surface is decent. But hey, it does have part cooling. What more do you want? You know how many cheap printers I've seen that have just left off part cooling because that was the hard part? Alright, so what do you do when you're out of spring? You happen to get lucky. So I'm out of spring on this one. But, alright, it made it. That's pretty good. Let's see how the center is now that all that's done. I'm going to actually have my paper down here ahead because I don't know if it's going to be good in the middle or not. You know what? That's pretty level. That's not bad at all. I mean, it could be a little tighter. Yeah, thanks there, tripod. All right, so I think we're okay. It might be a little further away than we should have for something like this, but that seems fine. This is not making me happy. This is going to be all over the desk in a few minutes. Okay, so bed leveling done. Load filament. Click the plus button. The button light turn on and flash at a fast rate for 3 minutes. The nozzle's heating. So plus button heats the nozzle. I hope it doesn't melt the bed. Thank you very much, Vam Dolly. I hope you are enjoying your printer. Is there any PLS brands you recommend? What do you mean PLS? Do you mean PLA? PLA brands? Yes, check out Filament One. It's my go-to brand. And I have a link in the description if you want to help me out with an affiliate link. Check the description for a link to Filament One. It's my go-to brand. I'm printing it just about on all of my printers. But I love it. I use other stuff if I need some like specialty filament. I've got some silk stuff I'm printing right now in the back, but that was just some cheap Amazon stuff. If you need some other inexpensive filament, Zyltech is good, and if you use the code Kersey Fabs there, you'll save, I think, 15%. Zyltech, Z-Y-L-T-E-C-H. And they have some good inexpensive filament I really like, and it ships here from the United States as well as Filament One. All right. So tiny printer is still, do you think it's heating still? How do I tell if it's done? It takes 3 minutes after the extruder is heated up. The light will flash slowly. So we've still got a fast flash going on here. And then we can add the filament into the tube, push it slightly into the extruder until the filament comes out from the extruder, then press the plus button to complete the extruding process. The printer will stop to load the filament. And then you can click the plus button to load again. Okay. It's still going fast to me. Now it does say here, make sure that the distance between the nozzle and the print bed is 3 centimeters at least. If not enough space, press the play button for 3 seconds, then release, and the Z-axis will go up 2 centimeters. When the printer has stopped printing, press play for 3 seconds, then release every time the nozzle will, oh my goodness. So you guys have to, there we go, now we're heated, but we need to raise it up because we're too close. So I'm supposed to apparently press this for 3 seconds and it'll raise up. 1, 2, 3. It didn't raise. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. It's not raising up. Not enough space. Press the play button for 3 seconds, then release hand. Z-axis will go up 2 centimeters. 1, 2. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like you're going to have to memorize a lot of button presses if you want this to work. I don't know why that's not working. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's not working. Can I raise it by hand? Nope. Can I turn it by hand? Nope. Well, how do you raise up this thing? I cannot extrude with it this close to the bed. This is not user-friendly. Yeah, maybe I have to finish the heating process. I don't want to load though, so let's just press play. There we go. So you're right, if I don't press the plus button at the end there, it's not in raise it up mode. Let's do one more. Did I leave a hole in my build plate? A little bit. So that's what I was worried about, and they didn't tell me not to do that to begin with. So I kind of let it happen. There's a little hole. You're not going to be able to see it. Just a little one. It's not a big deal. It wouldn't be the end of the world, but if I had paid $100 for this printer, I wouldn't be real happy about the little hole in my print bed right now. All right, let's do this again. We're going to do that. We're heating up again. We will get a print going on here. It's added texture, yes. Now it will hold to the bed better. Okay. I told you in the wrong order. You're absolutely right. Which is why I'm doing this by the instruction book, guys. I'm trying to be the new user that they expect me to be. What kind of build plate is it? It is basically like a... there's a piece of acrylic, and then on top of that, it's basically a build tack surface. I'm sure you can replace it, or if you don't want to replace it, I'm sure you could put something else on top of it. It's very smooth because it is on top of a piece of acrylic, so you could replace it or add to it or whatever you want. Yeah, I don't think you'd need a flex plate on here, obviously, not very big. Let's see what's going on. Are we flashing slowly again yet? Not yet. What's going on? This is the little printer that could. Yeah, so if you're not doing the other, if you want this printer, I would recommend the touch screen or the user interface that they're selling as an upgrade. I wouldn't want to learn all of these key presses. Add the filament to the tube, press it slightly in, and then press the plus button. Let's give it a shot. This is going to go in here. Can I push it in? I can't really push it in, so I'm going to let it do the rest. The printer will stop load filament automatically after it loads 10 centimeters. I don't think it's loading. Guys, I don't think it's loading. I can't do anything with it. okay. Oh, don't take me, recommending the upgrades as me endorsing this printer. I don't want you to think I'm endorsing this. I'm just saying, this is not okay. This is a lot of pain in the butt. Yeah, I mean, why they didn't just make this a $120 printer as the lowest price and go up a little bit from there, just to add that touchscreen or just to add that display, whatever it is. It just boggles the mind. But hey, what do you have better to do on a Saturday after American Thanksgiving than to watch this, right? This is, I could have chosen other printers, but you've seen them before. No one's seen this. And they sent it to me. I told them I'd do it. It seemed fun. So Brittany is sitting there just getting frustrated watching, and I can't disagree. I can't disagree at all. So let's try again. Oh, hey, it's extruding this time. Well, that's weird. Okay, so the instructions don't actually seem correct. So it seemed after it stopped heating, it started extruding. Now, how long is it going to do this? Do I have to press the button to get it to stop extruding? Is that what's going to happen here? Add the filament in the tube and press the plus button to complete the extruding process. Okay, so apparently if I don't press stop, it's just going to keep extruding. So I just didn't understand their English. Otherwise, it's just, okay, so I think I press plus and it'll stop. There we go. So that's what's going on. Yeah, it wasn't going to quit. The plus is the stop loading. But it stopped loading. So let me grab my, so there we go. It does extrude filament, guys. Check that out. It extrudes. So let me get the SD card out of here. I don't know what I have to do to get it to print one of these, because obviously I can't actually see what it's going to print. To print, press the play button. The light will flash at a fast rate for about 3 minutes to preheat. While printing, the light will stay on. The printer will choose the latest G-code file to print automatically. Oh, goody. All right, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to eject this. So I've ejected my SD card it came with. All right. We're going to take my micro SD card. I'm going to stick it in the side. All right. I'm trying to get rid of that glare. All right, there we go. And does it go up or down? So it goes down. So they have the board mounted to the bottom. And I want to get the camera set up because this is going to be high excitement. And you guys aren't going to want to miss a thing. So let's get you set up to watch this. That look pretty good to everyone? There we go. Now you can see what's going on. Okay, so what you think? Is this going to be a winner? The SD card's in there. I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's do this. So I'm just supposed to press the play. Do I press it once? Yeah, just press it. Just play. Okay, it's flashing. So in about 3 minutes, we're going to start this print, and we're going to either have a rocket or a vase, depending on whichever was newer. You know, Wild Bill, I normally think wiping the bed would be a good idea, but as we've said, we're noobs. We know nothing about cleaning build plates. We're going to see if this build plate works. We are total noobs here. We don't know anything about cleaning no plates. Okay, we're placing bets on whether it will lose adhesion. Now, it must have found something on the SD card, or at least I assume, otherwise we wouldn't be flashing here. Let me go ahead and move this around. You don't need to see my arm. There we go. But you can see me still. There we go. That is the most... there we go. I like that. Let's do that. This is completely not obvious streaming here. We are all noobs. Thank you, JS. That's what I was trying to say. I'll just be impressed if this thing can print an even print. If this thing's even when it comes off, given this bit of stuff here, I'll be impressed. Because, I mean, oh, there it goes. We are live. And it is extruding. That's doing, no, that's not extruding. Okay, it looked like it was. All right, we're homing. You know what, tripod, I think the flex is there to make sure that, you know, if it runs into something, it doesn't break. It said, according to the instructions, whatever the latest G-code file on the SD card is what it's printing. So it had two G-code files on there that I could see, something called rocket.gcode and something called vase.gcode. So I assume it's going to print one of those. I will pull this off. Why not? Yeah. There we go. It is printing. And it is printing as slow as it promised it would. Yes, exactly, John. That's what I was saying. Accidental avoidance system. Look at there. It's printing a raft. And I have to say, for people that were thinking that this is going to come off the print bed, if it's printing a raft, I don't think it will. Here's the noise. So the print area on this printer is 120 by 120 by 120 is the volume. So it's quiet. I mean, they're tiny little steppers. They're not silent by any means, but it's going so slow. I think it's pretty Ruby nozzle. Absolutely. I didn't actually see what type of nozzle was on here. I'm crazy. It's just an MK8 nozzle, it looks like to me. It's not bad. Honestly, I could have this next to me if this is how noisy it is. We don't have part cooling on yet. We're not going to have part cooling until it gets done with the raft. So, but if this is all the noise we had to look forward to, I wouldn't worry. Let's see, so we've got 132 people watching this go. And so if you are loving what you're seeing and you want one of these printers, go check out the link to the Kickstarter at the very least. Go check it out. Again, it started at a $99 price. It is now at a $119. But they've well met their goals on this Kickstarter. So I'm they're going to be building these printers. Yeah, we got 130 people watching and only 48 likes. Can we at least get to 50% there? Hey, it is. Hey, Daniel, you mentioned printing TPU on it, but it is a direct drive, so I have no reason to believe that you shouldn't be able to print TPU on it. Can you go over the specs? Sure, it is 120 by 120 by 120 on the build volume. It is, by default, does not come with a heated bed. It, by default, does not come with a display. It comes with this button system, which is outlined reasonably well in the instructions. In fact, hopefully by the time they ship this, it'll even be better if they work on these a little bit. There's information on maintenance. There's an FAQ in here. I don't know. One thing I wanted to see if they actually included the Cura profile information, because they mentioned installing your own slicer. A little bit too early in the process, apparently. Where is that? I know I saw it in here. Sorry I have the other background noise, but I'll get my mic close enough. Okay, slicer software. Yeah, they don't say, they say just, these programs use the printer-specific information to generate a G-code file. So I have no idea whether their version of Cura comes with their parameters already built in, or whether you need to insert it yourself. I have no idea. Oh man, let's see. Nozzle size. No, it's a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, and it does have a part cooling fan. And they made it all cool with clear plastic. Sorry. Clear plastic on all of these parts here, so you can see what's going on. There's even a clear plastic window here, so you can watch the Z screw work. Is there any way to speed it up using the handy buttons? Now that would be fun. Let's find out. Handy buttons: load and feed filament, print, pause, and restore. It does have a pause button, guys. So if you're printing something on this printer and going at this speed, which is probably 30 millimeters per second, maybe, and you need to pause this so that you can go to bed and then resume in the morning, it does have a pause. A long press to stop. It will unload the filament with the minus button. I do not see any way to change the printing speed. Not on this display. Does it have power recovery? I did read that it has power recovery. Let me go. Where did I read that? I think I read it. Yes. According to the Kickstarter page, it does have resume printing. Resume printing, resume after power outage. So if you get the other display, it is a touchscreen. They say it's whisper quiet. I wouldn't call this... I do hear the part cooling fan now. I wouldn't call this whisper quiet, but it's quiet. It's not an Ender 5 Plus or anything in terms of like how loud it is. So, as I was showing you earlier, it does come with a... excuse me, it does not come with this. For an additional fee, it does have a laser that you can replace the print head with. I don't know what's involved in replacing the laser. I don't think I saw instructions in the manual on how that works. Let's see, do they include, because yeah, next up after the FAQ is the different languages. So I don't think I have that information. Continuing to go over the specs because people are interested. It calls the simple to use intuitive 4-button operation. I don't think I would call that intuitive. I do think it's memorizable. I mean, with only 4 buttons and short presses and long presses, I do think it's it's something you can memorize. Let's see, like I said, laser engraver, they are saying that this is a 1.6 watt laser module. What do I got here? It does not come with a heated bed by default. So if you wanted a heated bed, that's extra. If you want the display, that's extra. If you want the laser, that's extra. Let's see. Tristan, according to the comment, is not sure about this printer. Tristan might not think that this is what they are looking for. I cannot speed it up. What's the electronics? This machine would be really hard to be a fire hazard. The only thing heated on it by default is the nozzle. It is powered by an external brick, a wall wart, and so the only thing at this part of the printer is 12 volts. I can't tell you without hooking it up to a PC whether, man, it would be hard to figure out whether this one actually has, no it wouldn't. It wouldn't be too hard to check it out whether it actually has thermal overrun protection. I could actually pull the thermistor wire maybe and find out, so I can't tell you whether it has that, but it does have, but it's reasonably safe. I mean, the whole thing's plastic and it's only got 12 volt going to it. The only thing you'd have to worry about is whether that could overheat and burn down your house. 4010 blower. Yeah, actually the blower is not on yet. It does look like a 4010 blower. By the way, this is just the, I was wrong earlier when I said the park cooling fan is on. It is not. It's still working on the raft. Yeah, I thought, Wild Bill, you mentioned the laser add-on, but not the LCD. Yeah, I thought that for a review unit, that was a very strange decision, because I would have preferred the LCD over the laser unit. Not to mention, this laser unit looks like it's actually a fair amount of work to install. It looks like I would possibly, I don't know, I can't tell you for sure, but it looks like I actually would have to remove these screws on the corners to actually mount that to the same thing. It looks like there are 4 screws and I have to mount it, and then I have to run these wires somewhere, which are actually written in Chinese. Let's see. Heated beds, a $15 add-on, something like that. Let's see, what do we got? Smash the like button, everybody, if you haven't done so. So here, okay, here was what the thing I was going to say about the laser engraver. One thing that disappoints me is they sent me the laser engraver, but they didn't send me any safety goggles. And I know it's a review unit, and so I'll cut them a little bit of slack because this isn't the commercial unit. But they didn't send me safety goggles. So if I started printing with this without my safety goggles, I could damage or at least hurt my eyes. So that's not cool. And they included no instructions on how to do it. Yeah, this is pretty slow. Thank you very much, Tripod. I think I will need a beer after this is over, because I cannot even tell you how long this print is going to take. This is slow. Yeah, and if you left the laser on, definitely a fire hazard. Well, plus with no instructions on this laser, I don't know what software they're using. I don't have any, I don't know how I'm supposed to use this interface to power this laser. I mean, thanks for the laser, but let's see. Let's see what's going on. I'm trying to catch up, guys. They did not send laser glasses, as I said. Yeah, the laser would actually go here. I think you replace the head. I mean, I don't see any way that this attaches to this side of it or anything without removing the actual print head. Again, I'm having to guess. I'm sorry to hear that, Tripod. What's going on? So, are you waiting to join me? Okay, so it looks like I'm going to have a special guest here. Let me bring up my... All right, so while that's printing, I want to swap this out here. It's printing. You guys know it is. So I'm going to bring on my special guest. Come on in. I don't have my sound turned up, so I'm going to have to... This is my daughter, Jaina. You may have seen her on some earlier streams that were on my channel. But I wanted to bring her on, and she wanted to come in to see the little printer that could, and maybe get her impressions on how it's printing and everything. So I'm gonna share my mic here. So you get closer, and you can see it's actually printing something underneath there. Maybe you can see it along the back. What do you think about the printer this size?
Tiny.
It's tiny,
and
right?
very small.
It's very small. What do you think about the speed at which it's printing?
It seems slower than your other ones.
Yeah, it's definitely slower than my other ones. So the other printer that we saw that was kind of this size was the truck printer, which we gave to you. What do you think about this versus the truck? Because one thing about the truck is it was very similar. It didn't have much of an interface. There's no touch screen on it either. There's just buttons. But what do you think? You like the truck better, or you like this better?
This one's closer to the bed, so it's like harder to see it.
Okay.
And it's more open, so it's like better if you were able to see it more.
Well, as it goes up, though, you'll be able to see it, right? I mean, because
Yeah.
right now it's still working on the raft.
But I like the other one because it's like prettier.
Okay, so this one you like because you can see the print better, but the other one you like the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I agree with you. Yeah, as you can see here, she's ready for Christmas. We've been decorating this morning, and so she is all ready. She's the elf. She's ready. She's Santa's little helper and ready to go. Did you put something on the shelf? Oh.
You still haven't noticed it?
No, I haven't noticed it. So everyone say hey to Shelly. She's in the chat. That's my wife. And she's in the chat already. So if give her some love for joining us in the chat. And she put a little nutcracker here of Drosselmeyer from the Nutcracker. And she decided to add a little Christmas cheer to the set here. Okay, John. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for joining me. So what you think, though? Is this... Let me ask you a question. Would you rather have a small little printer like this that you maybe could put on your desk and print? Kind of like the truck.
Yeah.
Right? Or would you rather have like a full-size printer like I have on the shelf?
Well, if you don't have much room, that one's better, or the truck.
Okay.
But if you have like a lot of room, you would have a bigger, faster printer.
Yeah. So, how much do you think this? I don't know if you've heard already, but how much do you think a printer like this should cost?
Maybe $50.
Maybe $50. Who agrees with my daughter here? Who agrees that $50 is the right amount for this printer? So what do you think? Yeah, someone said $50 earlier. That's what I was thinking. See, Max totally agrees with you. We got 75 from Andrew. Someone says I should be paid $50 to have to print with it. So what would you think if I told you it was $100?
A little too much.
A little too much? What about 120, which is what people would have to pay for it right now?
Like 100 was like okay, but like 120 is a little too much.
You think so?
Yeah, like 100 was already a lot, so 120 is too much.
Okay. Everyone's agreeing with you. I think that that's about right.
Well, compared to the other one, how much was the other one?
The truck?
Yeah.
I don't remember how much the truck was. I think it may have been a little bit more because it has a lot of plastic. Right, you pay for that one to look cool.
That one has a lot of metal.
This one does have metal, but the other one has metal in it too.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. It should be $35, someone says.
That's a little too less, I think.
Do you think that's too low?
Yeah, because then I don't think they would make enough money.
Yeah, you're probably right. They got to make some profit. Okay. So maybe you could build one for $35, but no one would sell it built already for $35. Okay, that's right. Did we figure out if it's the rocket or the vase? If I had to guess, I think it's the rocket.
Unless it's a very tiny vase.
I think it's the rocket. So I'm going to switch back, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Switch back to that one, and you can still see us there on the screen. And we need to bring back up our chat. Thank you so much, Tristan. Look, Tristan just gave us $50.
Yay.
Yay.
Now we can pay for it.
Now we can pay for the printer. Oh, thank you so much, Tristan. Merry Christmas to you too. I think it is. Let's see. Shelly, upload the video. Okay, so everyone wants to see me as Drosselmeyer and Nutcracker now. You know what? I don't know what to tell you to do, but yeah, I should totally upload that to my channel. People would completely understand it, right? Just take a 3D printing channel and upload some Nutcracker scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Rocket on a raft. Yeah, I think it's a rocket on a raft. We're trying.
Can't see it. It looks like a star.
It does look like a star. But maybe it's a rocket with 4 fins.
I thought they only had like 2 or 3.
No, I agree with you, Daniel. I think the machining for this printer is the expensive part. The fact that they have injection molded all of the plastic pieces on it is the expensive part. You know, when I see something like this, I'm often thinking, like, you could have built a printer the same size, but, like, machined, like, the end caps and everything out of metal instead, and this thing would have been solid. Like, it wouldn't have all the flex to it. It would have been, a lot cooler looking.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. Let's see. Yes, 1G code. The only way people would get their money's worth of this printer is if they 3D printed a 3D printer with it and then threw this one away. Thanks, JS, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Happy holidays to you, and we'll do this again soon. You're right, Wild Bill. It would take a long time to print a printer on this.
Yeah, because it's so tiny. You need like a big printer to print a printer that size.
Yeah, you'd have to slowly get bigger with this one. Like print bigger and bigger parts until you had a larger printer. Okay, so all joking aside, it is printing, right? I wasn't sure how it was going to do because the interface was kind of weird. I don't know if you saw it, but you have to do everything with 4 buttons, which is complicated because you have to hold them down for certain amounts of time and you have to put in the filament at the right time, otherwise the filament doesn't get sucked in at the right time. If you want to raise the build gantry, you have to hold down a button for a certain amount of time.
Wow.
There's no way to control it.
You need a book for it all the time.
Right, you need the cheat sheet, right? Maybe that's the thing to do is print out a cheat sheet with all the button combinations.
You know what's also different is that one's the nozzle, the thing that's holding the nozzle is way bigger than any of the others.
Oh, you're talking about like how big this piece is?
Yeah.
Okay, you're right, because what this is called a direct drive printer. And so everything that's pushing the filament through is inside of here. Like with the other printers I've got, those are called Bowden. And that's where they take some of this stuff and put it way over here and then just put that to the nozzle. So that's why. So, hey guys, it is a direct drive printer. So many people want direct drive printers, and here you go. Here's a direct drive printer. What we got? Thank you very much. I'm glad that this stream has helped. Because I think there's been a lot of jokes because it's small and it's made of plastic, but you know, I was going to point out that it is printing. Slowly. But it's printing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like it's messing up yet.
No, it's printing what appears to be, I mean, it looks like a star.
Yeah, I can't tell.
I can't tell what it is. Thank you, Brittany. I'm glad you stopped by as well.
I mean, it could be a vase.
I do want to try to go at least another 30 minutes. I don't know how long this is going to take to print. So I do want to keep going and see if it'll finish this.
It could be a swirly vase.
A swirly.
A
I mean,
star vase.
well, that's the thing with vases is they can be any shape or size, right? You don't know what you're going to get. Yeah, I'm with you, Max. I think that without the touchscreen being the default user interface, I think it's going to be very frustrating for people to try to figure out those instructions that I was reading aloud. Yeah, if you missed it earlier, it came with 2 models already sliced G-code on there, something called rocket.gcode and something called vase.gcode. And it's printing whichever one is newer is the one that it says it prints. And so I don't know which one it's printing because I didn't actually check to see which one was newer. Yeah. Yeah, in fact, I'm sitting here trying to figure out what I would do to mod it. And I have to say, I don't know. I mean, if it's sticking on this build sheet, I don't know why you would get a heated bed. It doesn't seem like you'd need a heated bed. It's sticking to the build plate. Until I were to try to print something larger, I wouldn't know if it's going to stick to a larger print. Let me see real quick. Someone's asking about the truck printer. I forgot the model number. I'll have to look it up. For TPU, it might need a heated bed. Let me see real quick. I don't want to give you a link to it, you know, while we're doing this other guy's live stream, but I will go and tell you the model we've been comparing it to. I think it's a CP100, and I'm going to double check. That was a long time ago when we did that review. There it is. It is called a CR100. And for comparison, the CR100 is $160 on Banggood right now. It's $160. And you can get in red or blue. You chose the blue one, right? Yeah, so Jaina chose the blue one. And then there's a $20 shipping. So this one's considerably cheaper than the Creality one. And it's direct drive, and the Creality one is a Bowden tube. And while I like the truck printer, my biggest complaint trying to work on it was that given the enclosure, which is there for safety purposes, the enclosure gets in the way.
Yeah, it's harder to work in.
Right, it's a lot harder to work in because, you know, with the enclosure there, my hands are big. And then half the time, you're not going to want to put your hands in there because things are hot and you don't want to touch the wrong thing. So I like the open air printer design better than I like the Creality one. So, yeah, and Maker's Muse took a look at it too. In fact, I think he keeps one on his shelf because he likes those small printers. I was wondering if Maker Muse saw this one. And may have joined us today, but that was just me guessing. I mean, right now I think the biggest problem right now it's probably 5 a.m. in Australia, which is where he's at. So he probably decided not to join us at 5 a.m. I need a drink. So they're looking up this printer, which is similar. I assume it's similar if they're asking me to look it up. What's it called? An Easy Thread? Easy Thread?
Easy thread.
No, it says Easy Thread. Easy Thread X1 Mini. Let's see. Can we find that printer? There's a Nano Mini. Oh, here it is. X1 Mini. So this one is... Yeah, did Maker's Muse review this one as well?
It looks almost the same.
It looks almost the same. Not exactly. But very similar. Let's go with very similar. I think that there may be a couple of customizations here, but overall it's very, very similar printer. It comes with an actual... Oh, they're showing the spool holder going the other way. That's weird. Yeah. So this one's... Look at the price on that one.
Oh, that one's cheaper.
Yeah, that one's cheaper. But you know, I don't see the laser engraver. It looks like everything else is pretty much the same. They do have it where you can screw theirs on, which is nice. They screw on the filament spool.
Maybe it's more expensive because of the laser.
Yeah, but the laser's extra.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't come with it.
Well, then I don't know.
I don't either. So thank you for that. Oh, Easy 3D. You spell out the word 3. Oh. So it's not 3'd. It's 3D. You have to look at the capitalization. There we go. Same button, 4-button interface. All right. Thanks, Michael, for dropping by. Good seeing you. I use a web interface of the touchscreen. How do you use a web interface on this printer? Are you talking about adding a... can we just add a Raspberry Pi to this one? You're going to take a $100 3D printer and add a $40 Raspberry Pi to it? $60 when you finally get all the add-ons? Octoprint on something like this seems overkill. I saw someone do a review on that X1. Boy, this is like, I have to be honest, this is like watching paint dry. I think I've painted things that dry faster. We are literally up 5 centimeters maybe? No, it's not 5 centimeters, excuse me, like 5 millimeters. It's really... Oh, where see, people are dropping off on us here. And people can't just keep watching this. Have to go. No problem. Thanks for dropping by.
So slow. They can't take it anymore.
Yeah, no one can take this anymore.
Too slow.
Can I put Clipper on this and get it going real fast? I think it would shake itself to death. Hey David, this is my daughter Jana. Thanks for coming back. Say hi, Jana. Hi. There we go. Dustin's still here. Thanks for letting us know. Plug it into 220. Well, no, that won't make it go faster because it's a power brick. Okay, it may even be auto switching. I actually didn't check. So if you're in the U.S., how was everyone's holidays? Everyone have a nice Thanksgiving? Sequestered alone with their loved ones that are local to them? Hey, Maker Viking joined us. We have a Viking in the chat.
Cool.
Cool, right? Hello, Viking. All right, Andrew, thanks for joining us. Good to hear, David. I'm glad you had a nice Thanksgiving. Apparently, we got people in the chats giving alternatives to this printer if this isn't to your liking. Oh, so you want to see the part cooling fan? Let's find out. Let me move this back up here. So yeah, the part cooling fan actually, I'm going to move this very carefully. There we go. Maybe you could even see the print better that way. Now that you don't need to see the. Let me and Jana out of the way. There it is. So now you can see it. So that is the part cooling fan right there. It is pulling plenty of air. And now you can kind of see what it's printing.
Still can't tell.
No, I think I'm still going with the rocket, even though it doesn't really look very rockety.
Yeah, like if it was going faster, you'd be able to tell quicker.
Right. Let's see. So how's the printer so far? It is working. With enough of manual reading, we got it printing. It is using the filament that it came with. It is just really, really slow. I think they've improved the part cooling. I mean, everything about the part cooling on this printer looks correct. One thing I do want to do with this printer, and I probably will later, is hook it up to a PC with the USB and see if I can find out anything about the firmware. It would be fun to pop open the bottom and see what the electronics look like. And so if you want to know more about that sort of thing, which version of firmware it's running, what the electronics look like, please follow me on social media. I'll try to post it on my Twitter and Instagram and the YouTube community page. But yeah, as everyone else is mentioning, Viking, the printer's slow. I don't even think this is 30 millimeters per second. Is there an interface? Yes, these buttons over here are the interface. They do sell a touchscreen as an upgrade, but this is the default interface is 4 buttons.
How much is the upgrade then?
How much is the upgrade? We looked at that earlier, but I'm happy to look at it again because it was part of the information. Let's see. So they are saying if you wanted the heated bed, it's $9 more.
That's not bad.
If you want the touchscreen, it's $15.
Yeah, that's not bad.
If you want the laser, it's $39.
Oh.
But lasers are expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to pay for a laser.
It's a laser.
It's a laser. I don't know how fast this is going. I would have to say
It's starting to look more like a rocket.
yeah, 20 millimeters per second, probably. It's just so slow. It's so slow. Hey, 3D Printing and Painting. Thanks for joining us. I didn't know who was available today, but it seemed like a good stream. And you know what? We've had a good crew, and everyone's having fun with this printer, which is that's what matters. Everyone's enjoying it. Jana's enjoying it, right? If you enjoy really slow prints.
If you have a lot of time.
Hey Zarb, how you doing? What bearings does it have? From what I could tell, it's using sleeve bearings. Yeah, it's got sleeve bearings on pretty much all the axes, it looks like. Again, I'm trying not to move this around too much, but I did sleeves there, and I do see sleeves through this plastic piece here. So no ball bearings of any sorts, just sleeve bearings. But at these speeds, it doesn't really matter. You could, yeah, it wouldn't matter what your bearings, you know. It wouldn't matter what kind of lubrication you had on there. You could just do plastic on metal, it would be fine.
That's as fast as it can go?
No, it's supposedly can go a lot faster than this, but we'd have to reslice a file.
Oh. Depends how much filament it goes out each round.
I definitely think it's the rocket now.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little small rocket. I do wish I could speed up the speed though. If it had a big interface, you usually can speed up the speed at which it prints. But since this one doesn't have a user interface, we could. Okay, that's a good idea. They want to see how big it is versus a regular spool of filament. Okay, so we're going to try to do that. Let's do that. That's a good idea. So if we go back out to a wide shot, here we are. Hi. Get all this hair out of my face. Still rocking the lack of COVID cut here. Okay, so regular spool of filament. So it is a little bit taller than a spool of filament. There we go. For comparison's sake. Does that help? Apparently my table's not completely level here. Or maybe it is. I don't know. It's going both ways. Yeah, I knew it wasn't going to work in that orientation, but there we go. And then if we switch to just this, there you go. You kind of get an idea of how big this is.
No, it's going to roll off the table.
Pretty small. If this live stream was going to last a good 4 or 5 hours, I would slice one on my own and run it at 60 millimeters per second, since they say it can do that, because that would be fun. Did Zarb have a question that I missed? Let me see. Did I miss something, Zarb? PLA or ABS? This is a tiny sample spool of PLA that it came with. I'm scared to hook up the USB cable at this point, because a lot of boards, when you hook up the USB cable, it causes a reset of the main board. So I don't want to hook up the USB cable at this point. Yeah, that's what Wild Bill says as well. So. But there's no way we're going to finish this before the end of the stream, are we?
When is the end?
Well, the end of the stream was probably supposed to be in about 10 minutes.
Oh no.
But
it might get halfway.
I don't mind leaving the stream going for people that actually want to just watch it finish. But I don't think I'm going to be sitting here watching it myself. What servo motor is it using? A tiny, tiny one. I don't know exactly what the servo is. So Fat Bank is out. And thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it. But Dave says some printers catch fire when you hook them up to USB.
Don't burn down our house.
No. Well, I've got fire suppression. We'd be all right.
What's that?
You know, like fire extinguishers. Yeah.
Nah.
Where did you buy this printer? This printer was sent to me. This printer was sent to me by the people that are selling it, and they wanted me to review it. And I said I'd do a live stream because it was a Kickstarter, and I wasn't 100% sure about it. And so that's what we're doing here today. I did not pay for it. Al Dill. I'm sorry, I always get yours right. Al, thanks for coming by. If I've already missed you, sorry about that. Oh, look, my son is also on. Hello, Logan.
Hello.
Jana says hello also if you didn't hear her. Yeah, it does look like the filament's going to tangle up, but at this speed, I honestly don't think it would. And I can just kind of unravel it here myself. So let me do that real quick. But yeah, it's trying to get tangled a little bit. We were afraid that that was going to happen when we started this stream. But it's so easy at this pace to just kind of work it out. I hate it. I mean, they should have included a small, like, 250 gram spool rather than this mess of filament. Would have been a lot better. And as you can see, the filament spool doesn't even stay in place like it's supposed to. That's frustrating. Well, but you wonder how Crowdy got so big. I think it's because they had the right printer at the right time, and then they sold a ton of them, and then you have brand loyalty at that point. So many people bought the Ender 3 that became the go-to printer for newbies. And so a lot of people just, started using it, and then they tried their other ones. My wife's asking about that other printer, which we talked about earlier, the Creality truck printer. Which one could finish first? Well, if I put the same G-code on both of them, they'd probably finish at about the same time. My biggest concern would be what would they look like. This one being what's called a cantilever, which means that it's not attached on both ends. Okay, so it's a cantilever design. I worry that when you get this one going fast, it's going to shake a little bit.
And it's going to be bump, bump, bump.
And I'm pretty sure that Crowdy one was not cantilever. It actually was fully attached on both sides. No, the truck printer is not a Core XY. It's a bed slinger also. When did the stream start? This stream started at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So just about 2 hours ago. We spent a lot of time just kind of going over it and getting started and answering questions.
Now I think you can definitely tell it's a rocket.
Yeah, definitely a rocket now. I think if it was also printing just in vase mode, the walls of this look too thick for vase mode, and it would probably be finishing faster if it was vase mode.
Maybe. You should do flexi filament.
Huh?
You should do flexi filament.
Yeah, that's what we were saying, is that the way that this printer is built, the fact that this is a direct drive, it should be able to print flexibles.
And then it would be squishy rocket.
Okay, we got some more people that want summaries of what is going on. So thanks for joining us, even if you're late. I appreciate you dropping by. What we are looking at, let me go ahead and switch over. So, what have we been, this allows me to stand up straight too. So, anyway, so what we've got here, we've got the Selpic, what is it, A Star, right? Isn't that it? Terrible with names. So it is the Selpic Star A. It is a Kickstarter printer. It is the lowest that they had on Kickstarter was $100, about $99. It is currently the lowest I saw on it is $119. And when we go over the specs, it's 120 by 120 by 120 build volume. And it has several add-ons available. You can add on a heated bed kit, which this one does not have. You can add on a 2.4-inch touchscreen that, I don't know if it takes the place of this or if it's an add-on, I'm not sure, because it calls it a touchscreen kit. Or you can add on the 1.6 watt laser, which did come with mine, but I don't have any instructions or safety goggles to actually use this. I own some safety glasses, but it didn't come with any. So that's what we're looking at first. And again, this one was provided by the manufacturer. They wanted, or the manufacturer, or the reseller. They did provide this, and they wanted me to take a look at it. I told them I'd do it on a live stream since it was a Kickstarter. And so that's what we're doing here today. So far, we did the assembly. Assembly was really easy. You had to only install 2 screws and then plug in 1 wire, and it was built. I mean, you had to kind of attach this to the side and attach the spool holder, but that's easy. And then we got to printing. As we found out, this little 4-button interface that they have over here, it works, but it's a little complicated because it involves a series of long button presses, short button presses, pressing the buttons in the right order. Otherwise, like, filament loading doesn't happen correctly. And so I went through the instructions for all of this because, again, this is targeted at beginners. And I really wanted to sort of try the beginner experience. And I can say I got it printing. Following their instructions, not trying to do anything from my own knowledge to get it going. it prints, right? We've got what apparently is a rocket going here. They say that the average printing speed is 30 to 40 millimeters per second in the instructions, and a maximum printing speed of 60 millimeters per second, which I would love to see, because that would be like 3 times faster.
Oh, that sounds way better.
Which sounds way better than watching this print. So, what can I say about it? I mean, the quality is looking pretty good. It does have a part cooling fan, which a lot of printers in this price range don't have. So it is going to be cooling our print as it's printing. It does come with a modern slicer, which I probably doesn't have a profile in it, but I don't know yet. So my current review is it is a capable 3D printer that will print. It prints. It prints slowly by default. The quality is looking pretty good. I won't really know quality on this one little print, particularly since it's printing so ridiculously slow. You know, there's been a lot of debate about the price. Capable as in capable or capable? It's capable of printing. So, not capable as in, man, this thing is really capable of doing a lot of amazing things, but capable as in...
It's able to.
It's able to print, exactly. It does what it says it's supposed to do.
I would hope so.
Where did you recommend I buy filament? Yes, it puts out plastic, Chris 2020. That's my review. It does put out plastic on top of other plastic, creating 3D structures.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly, and she agrees.
It's a 3D printer.
Jaina says it's a 3D printer. That's her review. But there's been a lot of debate on the price of the printer. At $100, depending on what they're charging for shipping, that's the most of us would pay for it. The 120 is really pushing it, given the fact that you're not getting any of the upgrades to it. And I think this interface is going to be really frustrating for a lot of new printer people, because they're going to be like, well, how do I manually move this printer around? You know, it does have bed leveling, which if you follow the instructions, I was able to level the bed using 4 buttons.
That's cool.
That's cool, right? That was impressive. But I think the price is getting questionable when you get above the $100 mark. As people have pointed out in the chats, there are other printers available that are less expensive and maybe almost the same printer. But you are going to possibly pay shipping. So I don't know what the shipping costs are on this printer. Let's find out. Let's find out real quick. What are the shipping costs on the Star A? I don't know if they say. Ships to anywhere in the world. United States. Continue. Yeah, I'd have to sign up my account, which I'm not going to do right now. So I don't know what their shipping cost is, but they do have worldwide shipping. What we got? Wild Bill heading out. I understand. Thanks, Wild Bill, for joining us. Oh, where to buy filament? I'm sorry, I'm jumping around here. So if you'll check the description, I recommend Filament 1. And there are links in the description where you'll help out the channel if you follow that link. But it is not a sponsored endorsement. It's just an affiliate link. So I've been using Filament 1 for at least a year now, primarily on almost all of my prints, and their stuff's just awesome. It prints clean every time, and I just don't have to worry about it. So I recommend them for day-to-day printing even. Time for bed in the UK. Thank you, David, for dropping by. And I think I'm about to cut off here too in a minute. I mean, I would love to sit around and watch this finish, but I don't think there's anything more to say, and I don't want to, take up any more time just rambling.
You can just let it play.
Yeah, I don't mind letting it stream. If you guys want to let it go, or let it go. I will let it just stream. Let's go there. Let's see if I can get you a good shot. Oh, that's a good sound. There we go. And I'll drop in to make sure that this filament spool doesn't crap out before, because yeah, we've already got kind of a tangle here. I'm trying to fix, but it's not going to fix. So I'm going to have to watch it. That's why they should never just ship those things, because they're not good. Did I just ruin it? Nope, I didn't ruin it. Okay. So any last questions before I wrap up here and kind of let this go? What's the build size? Build size is 120 by 120 by 120 millimeters. Let's see, what else is going on? Can I make the print more visible? I will when I switch over. I'll be happy to get closer. Ender 5 Core XY conversion when? When am I going to do it? Well, there's a company doing the conversion kits. I forgot the name of the company off the top of my head. I'm sure one of you guys know it. Oh, thank you very much, Jan. I appreciate that. And thanks to Shelly for staying on me to make sure your question was answered. But if Core XY conversion, I forgot the name of the company doing it, but there's a company doing an Core XY conversion kit for the Ender 5 Plus, and they were supposed to send me a review unit to take a look at and convert my printer, but they have not done that, and I haven't pinged them recently to find out what's going on. So it's currently not in the pipeline to do the conversion, and hopefully they will still get that to me after the first of the year. Thank you, Daniel. K3D, you're absolutely right. K3D is producing a kit. It's kind of pricey, but I've heard good things from it, and very early they contacted me saying, do you want to review our unit? And I said, absolutely, send it over, and I'll do a complete review on it, but they have not sent it over yet. So I don't know if they got busy. Maybe they sold every one they made and didn't have any extras to send to me. That happens. So let's, I'm going to let Jana sign off here. You can head back in. Any closing thoughts on the printer?
Even though it's slow, I think it's pretty cool for if it's like your first 3D printer, because it's small and it's able to print.
Okay. All right. I mean, so far what we see is that it seems to, how far up can it go? 120 millimeters. That's the height on it. So you like it? You think that since it does do its job and it looks kind of cool, that you like it, but you still think it's a little overpriced?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Able to print is the key selling feature here. You know what? I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you at all. I think the fact that it is a 3D printer and someone can justify dropping maybe $100, $120 on it, but as other people have pointed out, there are alternatives that may be better or cheaper. But people like Kickstarter. I think a lot of people see Kickstarter stuff and they just want to be part of it. Thanks for dropping by, Jana. Thank you very much. Did you have a good time?
Yeah.
Yeah. You like seeing this one?
Yeah.
You want the rocket when it's done? Yeah, okay. She's going to definitely want the rocket. How thick can it be? The other dimensions, it's actually 120 millimeters in all three directions. So 120 millimeters deep, 120 millimeters wide, and 120 millimeters tall.
But why isn't it printing in the middle?
They did this just to save filament. They didn't... It's kind of like a vase mode print, but they did it to save filament, and then you don't need infill. And the shape of this lends itself to not needing infill because there's no overhangs. There's no part of it that would need to be supported.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So let's set this up. Make sure everyone's happy with... Let's see. What's the best angle on this printer? Oh, I think it's going to be this side. It shuts off. All right, let me switch over here. I don't think I can get much lower on it. Excellent scraping sound. And it's too bright over here. I'm just using a webcam for my up close shot, so it's not as pretty as it could be. Sorry about the lack of detail. There we go. That's probably the best I can get on that print. It's too much light. Let me turn that down. Let's turn down the brightness a little bit. I like that better. What you think? You don't know? Oh no. Brighter or dimmer? Because I kind of like that better. I think that that's a little easier on the eyes. Better contrast, I agree. Yeah, well, I wouldn't have printed with white filament for sure. It's not good for the camera.
You should have printed it on red.
You guys want a nozzle shot. I saw someone say that.
You need a red rocket ship.
Let's see, can I get low enough for a nozzle shot? I'm having to do a lot of... Oop, there we go. Almost there. There we go.
Yay.
That's what people wanted.
You can see it.
There we go. Give the people what they want. There we go. That's cool. Okay. That looks good, right? She says beautiful, right? All right. Well, you know, and that's why I decided to take this on. A lot of people are like, this is the first I've seen of anyone review this printer, and I agree with you. I haven't seen anyone take a look at it yet. And so that's one of the reasons I decided to take a look. A lot of people are getting ads for this because it's a Kickstarter and they're running a good Kickstarter campaign. It has already been successfully funded. And so I like the idea now that someone can look up this live stream and actually see how, see what they're getting into.
It looks like the other rocket you have.
Yeah, it does.
It's round.
How much filament can you use on it? I think what they said, 250 gram spool over here is the most it can hold. But there's nothing stopping you from printing yourself a larger spool holder and using full-size spools. That's what I would do. I would just have a separate spool holder, as you can see my hands here, off to the side and run full-size spools. That's what I would do. And just get rid of this altogether, because this doesn't even stay on even with this tiny little spool. You'd have to really stick a screw through here to get it to stay. It's not very useful. That's what I would do. But, I try to be fair to these things. It's real easy to trash them as garbage because they are so small and they are built out of plastic and they're just not used to the high-end printers that a lot of us are using. But I try to be careful with the market. And the only complaint that I can say I have with it at this point is, number one, it is a little flexy. It's not as durable not durable, but it's not as rigid as I would want it to be. And the user interface is really bad. Usable, as I've shown here, if you read the manual, it's a usable interface, but it's not great. And that, I think, is going to frustrate most new users with this printer. Is not that the printer is not functional and not that it doesn't work or not print, but this user interface is just difficult to use. It does look like an MK8 nozzle. I haven't disassembled everything, but it does look like an MK8 nozzle, so regular nozzle size. How much money is it? It is the lowest cost that is now gone on the Kickstarter was $99. Its current lowest cost is $119. And I I don't believe that includes shipping, but I'm not 100% sure how much shipping, what the shipping cost is, because I haven't walked through the whole process in Kickstarter.
Why did it go up so much?
They always have a super low price for the people that do it earliest, and then it goes up because they only want to sell so many at that price. And then they want to make more profit on the later ones. So they make more money the longer you take to buy one. And then they can control how many they sell for that low price.
$99 seems good.
Yeah, $99 seemed better. Next video, could you use the Nano Mini? Which brand is the Nano Mini? Is that from that 3D company we were talking about earlier? Let's see, is that from that Easy 3D? Let's see. I think I saw a Nano Mini. There it is. Easy 3D Nano Mini.
It looks the same. It looks almost the same as the truck, just more open.
Yeah, as Jane is pointing out here, it looks a lot like her truck printer from Creality, but it is more open. Although it looks like it actually is not kind of a Core XY design, which I think you guys may have been talking about earlier. It does look like a Core XY, but it's even smaller printing area. Its printing area is only 90 by 110 by 110, which is pretty small.
It looks bigger.
So actually, just to let you know, this isn't, I don't actually think this is vase mode. It might be. No, I don't see it moving. Maybe it is vase mode. It just looked a little too wide for vase mode. Let me see. I think it actually may be too thick. Like too, yeah, it's not vase mode because it's stopping. So it's not actually vase mode. It's using two perimeters, exactly what Lone Tech is saying there. The quality still looks really good. I can't complain about the quality. But at this speed, I would hope so. I mean, if you print something this speed, the quality should be just immaculate. It makes small things, but good. There's your review. It makes the good small things.
Small things.
Again, I'm the type that don't want to trash it for what it's not, and want to give it credit for what it is.
Print all the kitties you want.
Again, I wish I had more time to do reviews of just every printer that ends up in the shop that I do these live streams on, but unfortunately I don't because I'm trying to get out other types of videos. So hopefully this video will suffice for most people. But I will be happy to actually play with it a little bit. Maybe even give it to Jana to play with a little bit and see if we can get some more prints out of it. And I can post those to social media or my community page. So if you're not subscribed to me here on YouTube and you would like to see updates to this, please go ahead and subscribe so you can follow me on the community page. And I'll post some pictures of this later. I'll go ahead and post some really up close and good quality pictures of this. And I will also try to slice one of my own models at different speeds and see what like a 60 millimeter per second model looks like. Yeah, and if you want me to take it apart and see what's in the extruder area as well as what the electronics looks like, I'll be happy to do that as well. I don't know, Daniel, because Daniel's mentioning that if they use a certain part, the max speed is going to be only 30 millimeters per second. But according to their documentation, it should go up to 60. Is there sag? I don't know if there's sag because I don't see it moving that much. You know, let me grab a ruler real quick. So, am I seeing a sag just as it's sitting here? So that's about 4 millimeters or 4 centimeters. That's about 4 cents. I don't see a sag on here currently. Currently it looks flat versus the bed. You know what I think I did though? I'm looking at it carefully here, and I don't know if you guys can see it here. I think I compensated for the sag with my bed leveling. That's pretty interesting. You see, Jana, come take a look at this real quick. Do you see how this side is tighter than this side?
Yeah.
Yeah? So I think if there's a sag, I've already compensated for it. These springs on this side are compressed more than the springs on this side. So what that would mean, though, is that our bed is level with our gantry, which should produce square prints. But I can find that out. We can print an XYZ cube and then check different measurements across the cube and find out.
You can print the cubes out of the one.
You want some more cubes, right? We need more cubes.
Always more cubes.
How big is what? The whole printer? Is that what you're asking about, Ryan? I had that up because that is on... Yeah, it's on the website, Compact and Portable. They are saying that it is 10.2 inches by 9.4 inches by 9.8 inches, and it weighs 4.4 pounds. So, yeah. Yeah, that is just about 10.5 inches tall. And about 10.5 inches deep. And maybe about 14 inches wide with the display. I doubt these electronics have any extra plugs on them. Not if it fits inside this box.
Oh, the rocket's getting taller.
So, again, you talk about skew and things like that, making parts. I don't see anyone who is using this for any sort of industrial design or industrial components. Number one, they're probably not using PLA for those components. Number two, I don't think that they're going to be, I don't think they'll be using a printer like this for prototyping. That seems a bit much. How long does it take to make this rocket ship? It's looking like it's going to take, I don't know,
How tall is it supposed to be?
over an hour probably to print this rocket because of how slow they're printing it.
It took a long time to make the raft. That's pretty quick.
How many people are still hanging out with me here? Let me see. We still have 100 viewers. No, we don't. That was old. We have 64 viewers. Everybody's dropping off. We almost made it to 100 likes. Not quite.
Need 6 more people.
So JD, here we go. I'm going to let you to ask people for 6 more likes.
Give us 6 more likes.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness. Wow, it worked.
We got a lot of likes.
Look at that.
We got 7 likes.
Thank you so much, everyone. That worked. Oh.
Wow. Thank you.
That was all for you, Jana. We crossed that 100 like threshold. Thank you very much, everyone. Boy, it really is slow though.
It's maybe like 1 more third.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do, everyone. It is almost 6:30 my time, which is longer than I planned to do, and I need to talk to the family about dinner and what's going on, but I'm going to leave this running for you. Let me see real quick. see how that looks. There we go. That looks really good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, right? Will it focus and stay focused if I get out of the picture? There we go. Maybe. Everybody may be fighting focus on that the whole time without light on it. Bring it back a little bit. Bring it up a little bit. Okay, we're going to try that. I hope everyone's eyes don't... That's the problem with the these cameras. Let me see if it'll do. Camera control. Focus. There. Now it won't hurt people's eyes. Manual focus on a webcam. Look at there. All right, I'm going to leave you guys with something worth looking at. There we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it running while I go figure out dinner with my family. If you would like to leave your streams going, please do so. I will take a look at the chat when I come back, but I can't promise you how long I'll have to answer any questions that you left. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves. Let me go ahead and, where is it? There it is. All right, so we are darker now because I cut off the studio light for this, so we're a little dimmer. But I'm going to let us sign off here. You sign off first, Jana. What do you got to say? What do you want to say about this printer or just in general? My little elf.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah? We just finished Thanksgiving here at home. Right? We've been decorating all day. All weekend. All right? So, let me pull up the chat here as... Sorry about the dark studio again. They said Merry Christmas to you too. So thanks again, everyone. Thanks for joining us here. I will come back on probably briefly when this is done, but I want to leave it running for you as I cut off my mic and go figure out dinner with my family. But thanks for joining me. Thanks for everyone that's participated in the chat. And I'm glad that a lot of you found this interesting, that I was able to show this printer, as a lot of you have seen the ads for it for Kickstarter, and hopefully now you can make an informed decision on whether this is something that you want to back on Kickstarter. Please remember, Kickstarter is not a store. You're not guaranteed to receive whatever they sell you. But as you can see, this is a real product. I do have one in my possession. What is Ryan asking? Please, please, please. How long did it take for the 3D printer to come? Oh, I can't answer that because mine came from the reseller, and mine may not come the same shipping that yours did, or yours would from the Kickstarter. So even if I told you mine took a week to come from China from the reseller, yours probably will not be going through the same channels. So unfortunately, I can't honestly tell you what that will come by. I hope everyone has listened to all the feedback I've been able to give. I hope people, if you're curious about what other people have thought, go back in the chat. And again, this was provided by the reseller, the manufacturer of this product, for me to take a look at, and I appreciate them taking the time to send this over to me. I hope you enjoy the rest of this print, and I will see you guys next time. Please subscribe to the channel. I do have a video coming out this week. Ready? Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you for liking.
Thank you for liking. Hello, hello. I'm going to see if I can scare someone awake here now that we're back. And I'm going to see who is still... Is there anyone around? That didn't take nearly as long as I expected. But it did allow me to talk to my family about dinner. Hey, look, Maker Viking is still here.
Yay.
So now we are done with this print.
A chubby rocket.
It's a chubby rocket. Went faster. Yeah, apparently it is. As Jana just mentioned, it's a lot stubbier than what we expected. Non-fam, Dustin, Brittany, good to see y'all.
It could be my
Darren.
animal.
I see everyone. Everyone is still here. We got some people still hanging out. There we go. Yeah, Pygar left. He's not here anymore. Oh. See, he left. Okay. Anyway, it's adorable. Yeah, it's an adorable little rocket. All right, so let me go ahead. I am going to try to get the camera set back up, this button and that button, so that we can actually use that camera.
See the details.
And close that out. And let's get up close with this one. There we go.
My stuffed animals rocket.
We're back. All right, now people can see us. Jana wanted to come back with me. Greetings from Venezuela. Thank you, Jose. How's the weather? I guess in Venezuela it should be spring.
That sounds nice.
Doesn't it sound nice? All right, so let's pull this off of here. Let me switch these back one more time. All right, we've got this. We're gonna pull it off. That was nice. It came right off the build plate.
And no,
Will it
it's not
focus
very
on this,
dirty.
or am I gonna have to use the other one?
It's not very dirty on the
Build plate still looks nice. I think I'm going to have to go up to the other camera because we want people to get a good shot of this. All right, we don't even need the printer anymore. We can just do that. All right, but I want to see what people are saying. So the chat's coming back up. All right, so let's personally take a look at it. What do you think?
It's got a couple lines.
Couple lines?
Yeah, everywhere there's some bumps.
Yeah, a little bit of retraction, I think. Or just the seam lines, which you're going to see on a round object.
Makes a sound.
Yeah, like most 3D print, it makes a sound. That's how big it is in real life. And keep in mind, this isn't by any sense the volume of the printer. This is only, including the raft, it's only about 35 millimeters by 35 millimeters and maybe about 45 millimeters tall. Yeah, just barely. So this is by no means how big it can print. Liam, I'll get back to you in 1 minute. Thank you. But so this is by no means how big this printer can print. This was just a sample print that they included. Let's see if the raft comes off.
Oh,
Came off great.
got no bottom though.
No, it didn't print with a bottom, so it's hollow. So I am impressed. The raft came off really good, which is a good sign of good cooling and good print settings. And I'm going to come up to the camera. So if you'll scoot over for a minute, dear. Step over my wire. And let's see. Get out of frame, otherwise it's going to want to focus on your face. There we go. And let's see if I can get it to focus. There we go. That's a pretty good shot. So it does not look bad at all. I mean, given the size of the printer we're talking about and the cost of the printer. Now, obviously, this went super slow to print this. There's the underside. It is hollow, but it is not a vase mode print. But overall, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I won't know too much more until I get some of my own prints on there that I'm familiar with. But this is, I mean, this is capable. For someone that's never owned a 3D printer and they get this, and this was their first print off the printer, I think that they'd be pretty happy that they could do something like this at home. So that looks pretty good. We got So some people want to know about what is on the steppers. Yeah, the only stepper I could reach. So this is done. I can actually turn it off now. I'm going to go and turn it off. Unplug it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So on the bottom of this, let's go and take the spool off as well. Wish I had. Oh, I do have. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and tie this. And we're going to take a look at the bottom because someone wants to know about the steppers. Daniel is wanting to know about the steppers. What is written on the bottom of the stepper? I can't read it anymore because it is underneath this. I would have to take it apart to see what's written on one of the steppers. None of these steppers are visible at this time that I can see. No, none of the steppers are visible right now. Sorry, Daniel. I don't want to take it apart at the moment to take a look at that. So I'll see if I can get it back apart, though, at some point here soon. I know people want to see pictures of the finished print. And so that's it. We were able to finish off the stream. Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It was visible before I attached it. Now it's underneath the plastic. Anyway, any last questions before we sign off again? All right, I think that's it. Again, I've already covered my thoughts on the printer. Yeah, when you go back through the time sync, maybe I got it close enough to the camera for you to read it. But thanks again, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for sticking around till the end of the actual print. Let's see, how many people stuck around? 50. That's not bad, right? Thank you, 50. Oh, Liam, I wanted to get back to your comment. You helped me sort out problems a couple of months ago when I had an issue on my Ender 5 Plus. Got the fans replaced with the same Hero Me triple fan rig you use on your upgrade. You're very welcome, Liam. I'm happy to help, and I'm glad that you were able to get everything working. So we will sign off again. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And you guys have a safe weekend. And I will see you midweek with another video. Talk to you next time.